Welcome to Bang Tao Beach in Phuket, and just going to show you how easy it is to demonstrate for yourself. Oh God, hang on, I've got to get my daughter. Abby, come out. My daughter's got her school uniform on and decided to take a dip. Can't blame her. So, you know, it's just to show you how horizons work, regardless of the shape of the Earth. Yeah, of course, this is something, just an observation of reality that totally debunks any notions that we live on an Earth with some kind of geometric curvature on it. By the way, I've got some videos in the planning that, well, at least one video that I'm planning and more, that really that should really show how the math magic is done. Quite simply, really, but it goes into, you know, using the degrees and then converting those into radians and using the Habersign formula and how that all ties in. But doesn't mean that we live on a globe. It just means that's how distances and differences between. Abby, come on! Longitude and latitude lines. I don't blame her, but Mum's going to be mad. Never mind. Right, it's difficult to see the chat because it's very bright sunlight. Sorry? No, you just have to stay out of the water. You can play around. Sorry? I can't hear you, hang on. Yeah, okay, you go ahead. You make sandcastles, that's fine. Hang on, let me just get in the shade so I can read the chat here. Oh gosh. I'm trying to adjust the brightness here, hang on. Don't know if I can do that while I'm on. Okay, probably not. Okay, so, hi, thanks for your comment. I'll have a look later when I'm in the shade. So, I was just up here on this little raise here. A lot of building going on here, and you can see where the horizon was, okay? I can even use my daughter there as a reference, yeah? And see what happens to the horizon as I get lower and lower, okay? Yeah? The horizon is your eye level indicator. It tells you exactly how high you are. So you can see there, there's a difference in height between my daughter's head sitting on the sand and the camera's eye level, which isn't, I'll put it up to about my eye level. That's about my eye level now. So, you know, the horizon, as they say, rises with you. I just prefer to call it your eye level indicator now. It tells you exactly where you are in relation to everything else around you. So obviously you can see that, you know, my daughter's sitting on the sand, she's below me. Now if I bring myself down to about her level, okay, what's happening to the horizon? Yeah, you can see what's happened to the horizon now. And again, it's just telling us our own eye level, or the camera's eye level. I'm higher than the camera at the moment. Yeah, my own eyes. Yeah, so when we talk about eye level, that's what it is. Okay, the horizon being your eye level. Now, as you can see, as I stand up, I can go up a bit higher. You know, and of course, this absolutely idiotic idea that you're looking further down a curve is exactly that. It's idiotic. Because again, the horizon is rising, it's not dropping, you're not looking down, okay? And actually another thing worth pointing out is that it doesn't matter if I tilt the camera, okay? I can have it mostly pointing towards the ground or mostly pointing towards the sky, and the horizon still tells us our eye level relative to everything else around us, right? So obviously if you want to look out in an eye level, what would you call it, a line of sight, that is eye level, then you'd have to be going very, very much horizontally, okay? Now if you zoomed in on this and if you used a theodolite or something like that, you might actually see a little bit of a gap between the crosshairs on your level and the horizon. Well, why would that be? Because, well, of course there's a gap between the Don't let me disturb your walk. There will be, because obviously, for example, if I rise up like this, then there's about a 6-foot gap between the surface and my eye level. So all that happens is that gap gets smaller in angular size towards the horizon. So, naturally you would still see a gap, but it would be a much, a squished up version of the physical distance between you and the surface, okay? So it's a straw man argument, because at the end of the day, the horizon is your eye level, especially seen like this. I mean, obviously if you zoom in on it, then, you're really creating something artificial. But as far as we can tell from our eyes, and just looking from a normal perspective like this, then the horizon is our eye level, isn't it? All right. Abby, can you come up here a bit now, please? Yeah. I'll give you a little look down the beach there. All right. Very typical postcard scene, that, isn't it? Yeah. All right. And of course, it's level all the way across. I'm keeping this vertical because I think you get a better, because I'm doing it on a mobile phone, you get a better, it's more clear. If I do it horizontally, it kind of ends up really grainy. So I hope the image quality is all right. I'm just going back up here now. Oops. Try and read these comments. Hang on a minute, I'm trying to clean my glasses and read the comments. Yeah, it's really difficult, but I think that's in REM. Hi. Okay, I'm going to have to look at these comments later. It's just too bright, even though I'm in the shade here under this coconut tree. Yeah. There's another view of the beach. Some chickens just strolling around. Yeah. This is about as the extent of the, the safety here. Abby, come on. Yeah. So. Grounding on the beach is very nice and important, or grounding anywhere. Yeah. This is the thing, I'm sure, with a lot of you out there that realise the lies, is that you probably made an effort. I know for me it was a couple of decades ago, even now, when I started getting into raw food and understanding or having that realization that your diet, you are what you eat, and all the problems we have with the chemicals and everything, and so for a lot of us that journey started a long time ago, didn't it? With this compulsion to try and get away from the toxic lifestyles that we see around us, and I look around and it's like, okay, wow. We all make plans in life and we don't necessarily know exactly how they're going to turn out, and all sorts of weird things happen on the way. But there was a time when I was in England and wanted to, I felt the pull here. For whatever reason, I had no idea why I wanted to come to Thailand. And spent a long time in Bangkok, but and I thought, well, why aren't I in the islands? Why aren't I in the, and here I am. Been here getting on 20 years in Phuket, I suppose. So sometimes it's important, isn't it, to just look around you and think, hey, mission accomplished. If you're independent, if you're doing your own thing, and you're enjoying your vocation or your life, or every single one of us has managed to achieve something, I'm sure, and you probably achieved some independence. And that's because of something that you felt compelled to do possibly several years ago. Chickens on the beach, ever seen that? Yeah. And that's the thing, isn't it? What we live in is a realm of infinite possibilities. And despite what you might see trending on Twitter, or people worrying about this, that, and the other, or this group, that group, wonderful thing is that humans are incredibly adaptable. Yeah, we can adapt to all sorts of things. But I think we've also, you can only, progress is inevitable, right? Things happen, changes happen, and as long as we stay on this timeline, if you like, without a total reset, then things can only get better, right? Yeah, but crazy things are happening in countries and places all over the world. Some places have reached, but there's always something going on, right? Wherever you live, whatever country you're in. Yeah, there's always some political stuff. There's always this or that, Yeah, but yeah. So I have no idea if this is streaming to you in a good way. I can't adjust the brightness at the moment on the phone to look. But I'm thinking about, you see there's a whole bunch of stuff, there's construction going on all over the place, yeah? So a lot of this, was busy at one time pre-COVID. Now, after this first kind of high season after COVID, there's promise that things will improve. So people are setting up shop along here, and I'll just take you back there a minute. Abby, I'm just going over here. I'll be back. Just going over here. Okay. So I'm thinking that maybe one of these hut things over here. Just quickly go over here. Might be a good one. Yeah, all sorts going on. Yeah. So I won't disturb them too much. We'll walk just right in the middle of the construction site there. But I could see then. See. Okay. Yeah, really difficult to read the comments. I'm trying to do that in shade, but chat amongst yourselves for a while. And a shout out to the Phuket Word Patreons, a few more on board, which is really helping. I really appreciate that. Some people are helping out with $5, $10 a month, $20 a month, whatever. And it's great because it allows me to actually separate, dedicate time, which would be work time usually, to more of this flat earth education. Also highly recommend 24-hour Flat Earth on Discord. You can look them up on YouTube. They're usually doing a live stream on YouTube. So check those guys out because there's often some very stimulating conversation going on. You don't have to be a Discord person to listen along. Look at these chickens waiting to be fed. Yeah, but and sometimes you hear people coming in and trying, the globe earthers coming in and having a pop, and it's amazing really how many anti-flat earthers don't actually know their own model. Yeah, and of course no one really even considers the fact that the radius of the assumed radius of the globe earth has never been measured. Never, ever, ever. Of course it hasn't. All the radius is a number that fits in with the equations for converting degrees into radians and the distances between longitude and latitude lines. Okay, so basically, if you start off with a distance from the North Pole to the equator, and you just have a standardized measurement, so you've got nautical miles, and then you can 60 nautical miles becomes 1 degree. But then, of course, if you're just talking about degrees, that doesn't necessarily give you a distance across what would be the arc distance. Yeah, because obviously when you have degrees and they're pointing out, the arc distance gets wider and wider. So what's basically done is between one point and another on the level Earth, you might have this longitude latitude point and this longitude latitude point. And if you convert those degrees into radians, which sounds complicated, but it's actually not. It does make sense because that's how most computations are done. But then using radians, you can then have a distance. You've got your, you basically increase your radius until you've got a radian, a pi radian if you like, that matches the distances of a nautical mile, or 60 degrees. So you've got your 60 degrees, and then of course with a particular radius attached to that or associated with that, you can then get a calculation for distances across a level surface and just basically convert them into that level surface being part of an imaginary circle comprising radians. Yeah, so it's funny because you actually got to get away from the idea of a circle always being 360 degrees. That's just something that, one thing that we've done, and it's become a standardized way of thinking about dividing up circles. You could have a circle with 400 degrees if you wanted, or 100 degrees. You could just divide a circle into 100 segments and say it's 100 degrees all round. Yeah, so that's why radians are better than degrees in that sense, because then you're just using you're calculating the arc distance, or calculating a distance as an arc distance of a circle by plugging in a particular radius and using radians. Yeah, and voila. So it's just like any equation where if you put a lower number in or a higher number in, where it doesn't fit with the equation, it doesn't fit with the measurements or the calculations that you're attempting to associate your model with. Yeah. So anyway, that's for another day. I'm kind of building up to that because I want to be really clear about how radians work compared to degrees, and really just you see the principle is simple. It's just that when it's the way that mathematical equations are written sometimes that you essentially have to learn another language because the symbols mean certain things, right? Whereas it's not difficult to understand the principle. It's just a bit of a challenge, an extra layer of obfuscation. Oh, I've got to rescue the shoes. Abby, you got to get. Oh, tide's coming in, obviously. Let's get our lessons out. Pick up our rubbish here. Can you grab your shoes, my love? Yeah, and the can. In a second, just get higher up here. Alrighty, there. Any excuse to get back in the water. So there we go. Just to finish off this, okay. I really hope the stream has been, visible. But just to finish off this, here's that demonstration of eye level. And of course, you can match up with anything if you like. You see that? I tell you what. Let's go over here just to give you an example. Yeah. This will help. So this tree, okay, you can see that the camera's eye level is exactly here at the height of this tree. This thing in the foreground, okay, that's how high we are. The horizon tells us exactly how high the camera is. And my finger is, pointing at the top, yeah? It's actually coming up to the, I'm moving my finger horizontally here. Where is it? There it is. Okay. And of course it appears to come up. Okay. Yeah. So as we go down, we can see that the horizon's location changes with our thing. There's a tree coming into view. Alright, so the horizon is your eye level indicator. It tells you exactly how high you are relative to everything in the foreground. Yeah? Really simple. Anything higher than you? So, that's the thing. This immediately debunks the globe, because the globe entirely depends on the horizon being geometrical curvature, which it obviously isn't. You can prove this in reality. Alright, so that's your DIY flat earth eye level horizon test. And I shall say goodbye and see you around, yeah? Thanks a lot for coming in. Alright, cheers.